Hey there, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to Lightsaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the galaxy to answer a question that's been on many parents' minds. Is Star Wars content truly for kids? Is it truly kid-friendly? And most of us older fans have fallen in love with this epic battles, the memorable characters, the captivating storylines in the Star Wars franchise. But when it comes to younger Padawans and budding Jedis, is it all fun and games, or are there some aspects of this iconic franchise that might leave parents raising an eyebrow? Today, we're going to discuss this extremely delicate topic, but first, we got to drop that intro video.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now if you only knew the power of the dark.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to Lightsaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
So today, we're going to be taking a lightsaber to this question and dissecting it from every angle. From the mysterious characters returning from the dead to the forces influencing people's actions. You know what I'm saying? That might scare a kid. What about embarking on a journey through the Star Wars and morality? You know, can you live forever if you're in Star Wars? Because they show that with Force Ghosts. Stick around because we're also going to be exploring the latest news and rumors in the Star Wars universe. And of course, putting your Star Wars knowledge to the test with Star Wars Impossible Quiz. This episode is going to be a roller coaster ride that you don't want to miss. So whether you're a lifetime Star Wars enthusiast or a parent wondering if it is time to introduce your youngling to this iconic franchise, this episode is for you. And first and foremost, I got to give a shout out to Star Wars team leader. Because last week he played the episode from last week on at whatever event he was at. Yeah, he said it in the chat. I don't remember which event he said, but we got almost 5,000 views on our last video, which was kind of crazy because it was just me sitting here rambling for an hour and a half. We didn't
No,
even
I
have
wasn't even
Garrison on
here.
the show to argue with me about shit. It was just me rambling.
Got me
But we got a
feeling
lot
left
of
out
views.
now. I'm just kidding.
So I want to say thank you to Star Wars team leader for that, and hopefully he pops up in the chat or in a little bit here, so I can personally thank him because that was awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for that. We really appreciate that he did that, and it got us a lot of views. So thank you very much. But we got to jump into this discussion because this is a galaxy-sized discussion, and we're going to be doing it right here on Lightsaber Radio. But first, as always, we got to get our outrageous juices flowing, and the best way to do that is with the Icebreaker, our form of an icebreaker. Garrison's going to ask us all a crazy question, and then we're going to come up with the most outrageous response. Everyone in the chat is urged to join in. And since we got nobody watching at this moment because we're doing the show on Sunday, and I don't think everybody knew because ain't nobody here. But hopefully everybody will join in here pretty soon or catch it on the next one. So I'm going to give my most outrageous response, and we'll see how it goes. Sorry for everybody for Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Yesterday I had to work, and Garrison didn't want to do it by himself, which it sucks. You know, guys, it does. It kind of sucks to do a whole episode by yourself. It's hard. You know, it's a lot harder than you think it is to just keep talking for, an hour and a half. It's easier when you got somebody to reflect your opinion.
And especially when you can move it just a day. Like,
and
when someone's out of town, you kind of have to. But when it's
Yeah.
just a day, you
Yeah.
can postpone it a day.
So,
All right, let's get the Icebreaker. All right, so for today, I want to do something. I want to do something a little bit different, kind of something that I've been seeing around. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, can you see what I'm sharing on my screen?
no.
No.
Oh, it's behind us. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh shit. Let's try this one. Okay.
There we go. That's it. All right.
Let's try this one.
Kind of something I've been seeing. You pick 3. You got to pick 3 to defend you, and the rest are coming to hunt you down. Who are you picking?
To defend me, I want
Yeah, you got 3 to defend me.
Mace Windu, Vader, Mace Windu, Vader, and Palpatine. And
Mace Windu, Vader, and Palpatine.
And to come after me.
You got the rest. No, the rest come after you.
The rest is coming after. Oh, the rest. I thought I had to pick 3 that came after.
No,
me. Okay, so
you pick 3 to defend you, and all the rest are teaming up to come after you.
Yeah, I'm staying the same. I'm still saying Mace.
I think Palpatine's a safe bet. Palpatine's got the resources.
And Vader.
Palpatine and Vader are great bets.
Even if it's just the 3 of them. Mace, best lightsaber duelist in the Star Wars movies.
I don't know. Palpatine kicked his ass.
No, Mace beat Palpatine.
That's true.
Anakin, Vader. I mean, that's a given. You know what I'm saying? Only person that ever really beat Vader was Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke. And but I don't think that they could do it because they're gonna have to go against Mace or Palpatine. And then Palpatine's dope. He don't even need a lightsaber. He's just shocking the shit out of everybody. It's gonna kind of suck because you got Yoda and Boba Fett and oh god, that's hard. It's really,
super
really
hard.
I mean, Jar Jar, his luck ain't gonna save him in this. Bray, lightsaber skills is not up to for him to deal with Mace, Palpatine.
She did beat Palpatine though.
But she didn't beat Palpatine by in an actual battle. Palpatine beat himself. All he had to do was stop shocking and then he would have died.
Plot armor beat Palpatine.
Kylo, not very good duelist. The only person you really have to worry about in dueling, I don't know, man, because you got Rick, man, you got Yoda.
Luke and Yoda. Luke, Yoda, and Obi-Wan are 3 to worry about, man.
Well,
and then
Boba
Fett, I fully believe Boba Fett could come in with some assassin shit. Not even have to fight the other guys to kill you. You know what I mean?
And then you got, oh man, that's freaking Kenobi.
Yeah, that one's tough, dude.
That one's really tough.
Yeah,
because it's literally you got 12 people, so 9 people is coming after you. Now I don't think you got to worry about Jar Jar. I don't think you got to worry about Han because Han only got a blaster. Most of his shit was just blind luck. Both of them blind luck, so you ain't really got to worry about them. Rey is still, I mean, she ain't no punk by no means, but I think her lack of experience against, you know what I'm saying?
Darth Vader's clapping Rey. Come on.
Kylo, I don't think you got nothing to worry about with Kylo. But then you got Yoda, you got Obi-Wan, you got, oh man, I think you're dead no matter who you choose.
Yeah, because I think Luke and Obi-Wan are beating Darth Vader. Together with Yoda, they're probably taking out Window too.
I think Yoda and I think Yoda's gonna keep Palpatine on the thing, and I think Boba might be able to sneak up. You know what I'm saying? Get him with a blast to the back or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know, I don't think Kylo is gonna offer too much help. He's just gonna be more. I think that if I was Boba, I'd use him as a distracting factor, like send Kylo in all rage or and then you know what I'm saying, use him as a distraction. But then you really gotta, like, I think Rey, Kylo, Han, and Jar Jar are all distraction kills. They get sent in just to get killed while the other people really do the dirt. You got Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, and
but like you do these people have the resources available? So, like, is Han Solo flying the Millennium Falcon?
No, they got to be ready battle or just regular battle. Like you
All
got
right,
you
all right. So
three,
it's just them individually.
yeah, individually with only what they have on they selves.
All right, all right.
But then we're I mean,
Boba's
we're
someone to worry about because I feel like Boba is gonna have like some assassin shot, like posted
but
up
then
somewhere,
we're like
sniper.
we're missing a very key moment, a very key person here. They gave Obi-Wan and Palpatine a run for their money and Mace Windu at a time. And Anakin at a time. Because
Maul?
Maul. You know what I'm saying? Maul is not no punk. So Maul's gonna go after. I think what fucks Maul up is because he's either gonna go after Obi-Wan or Palpatine. Because he's angry with both of them. Palpatine threw him to the dirt and Obi-Wan keeps beating him. So, but Maul is a hellified swordsman. I mean, he's done. I mean, he ain't no punk when it comes to saber battling. So, but I do think Jar Jar, Han, Rey, and Kylo, they're all mercy kills. They're all just in to get the distraction kills. I think Boba dies. I think Luke dies. I think Yoda and Obi-Wan will be the last two left, but I think out of everybody, I think they're the ones that survive to kill your people.
I don't know. I don't think Luke dies.
I think
it
Luke
depends.
dies because Luke will sacrifice himself to save Yoda.
You think so?
I think so. Or Obi-Wan. I think Luke will sacrifice himself. Like Obi-Wan will be on the ground, Vader's about to kill him, and Luke jumps in the way to try to block, and Vader ends up taking him down.
Maybe.
Because
I could see Luke would be the type to kill him, to let himself die. You know what I mean?
I think Maul runs in after either Palpatine or Kenobi. He just gets taken out because he comes in with rage and, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't follow like the battle plan. I think Han ain't gonna do too much. I think Boba will kill Han. I don't think Han survives.
Yeah.
If you really watch Star Wars, Han survives a lot by just blind luck. Same with Jar Jar, just blind luck. It's just they're in the right position.
Yeah,
at the
Han
right
without
time.
the Millennium Falcon he's just a dude. Like,
yeah, with a blaster. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not doing much. I think everybody up there that just has a blaster is pretty well dead. Boba might survive for a while, but I'm pretty sure one of them, Palpatine or Vader, is gonna smash. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna smash him. Palpatine will probably hit him with some electric. That metal ain't gonna do too good. You know what I'm saying? With metal armor on, getting electrified, it's not gonna work out too well for you. But
if Boba Fett like stays out of the fight, if Boba Fett stays out of the fight, I feel like he could find a way to do something from like the outskirts.
I think
but
he might kill somebody.
Yeah, as soon as he's engaging,
But it's gonna be
fucked.
like a back
Yeah.
shot.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be you know what I'm saying, he gonna get that sniper shot in, you know.
Right.
But I do think out of the end of it, after everybody got done battling, after the three people that I picked, I think Obi-Wan and Yoda will probably be the end people left. They'll probably be the ones that win it in the end.
You think
Mace
so?
is dope with a sword. Anakin's dope with Vader's dope with a sword, and then you got Palpatine shocking everybody. But Yoda ain't worried about no damn Force lightning. Obi-Wan's just his defensive skills is too much. We seen it with Anakin. You know what I'm saying?
I think Obi-Wan is severely underrated. Like he was a great swordsman.
I mean, he's a master of the defensive art. I mean, that's
Number
what he does.
Form 2, yeah, he's a great swordsman and a great tacticianer. Obi-Wan is a threat. I think no matter who you're picking in this, if you pick Darth Vader, Mace, and Palpatine, you're still probably losing.
Yeah, I don't think out of all three people you pick, you're gonna lose. Because even if you pick like Yoda, Palpatine, and Mace, or Yoda, Palpatine, and Vader, or Yoda, Obi-Wan, and you gotta pick Palpatine. Come on, Palpatine is the most powerful individual.
Yeah, I agree. Palpatine.
His lightsaber skills is not the greatest, but his control of the darkness or the dark side and his ability to like view things on how to win. Come on, look how easy he took down everybody. He just jumped
I
out the
don't know.
seat screaming.
What?
He took
Yoda,
out
Palpatine,
three
and
excellent
Mace.
Jedi before Mace beat him.
Yeah, think about Yoda, Palpatine, and Mace. I feel like that's a
I
formidable squad.
still think you're losing because you still got Obi-Wan Kenobi. You still got
And you got Darth Vader.
and you got Darth Vader and you got Luke and you got Maul.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's 3 people up there that could beat the rest of them. But I do guarantee that Jar Jar and Han are the first 2 to die.
Yeah, probably.
They're the first 2 that's gonna get killed. I don't know. Han is kind of smart.
really-
Han might be like
I could-
Boba
yeah,
Fett
yeah.
and sit in the background and shoot.
I agree. I think Han would like if Han's fighting, yeah, he's the first one to die. But I think Han has too much of a sense of like self-preservation. He'd kind of chill back. I think Rey would die soon because I think she'd be the type to rush in and get killed.
I mean, even though Rey is like very powerful, you know what I'm saying, as we've seen, I mean, we can't look at whether or not we like Rey as a character or not. We got to look at what they actually let her do in the Disney Star Wars. And she was pretty powerful. You know what I'm saying? She could fly. You know, Jedis can't fly. She could fly. That makes her pretty dope. You know,
But I don't think she's beating any of these other Jedis besides Kylo in a battle.
I don't think so neither. I don't think that she could not even a battle of force because she doesn't know how to use the force well. A lot of her shit is just fucking instinct force usual, which is good.
Yeah, a lot of it
She's
was the
allowing
force.
to control her, but
Yeah,
I still don't
exactly.
think from a trained tactician, like a real trained tacticianer, she's not beating none of them.
I agree.
Kylo is too much like Maul. He is rage driven. I think with his rage, I think he'll make a mistake. I think that's what will kill Maul. I think out of everybody who's gonna like the 3 people that's really gonna use their heads the most, well, 4 people, well, maybe even 5, because Mace experienced, Boba, you know what I'm saying, the experienced bounty hunter, dealt with Jedi for a long time. Han, just because, like you said, it's self-preservation. You know, I think that they would do pretty well, but I think they're all still dead. Because I think Maul's just gonna rush in. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna use his anger. You gotta think about it. Vader's done whooped like 1 million Jedis by, you know what I'm saying? Because he killed he hunted down and killed most of the Jedis, and then when there was only a few left, that's when they brought in the Inquisitors.
I feel like Boba Fett could be useful on your team because he could just hide you. Like I feel like he has underground networks where he could just put you into hiding.
Yeah, but
they'd all get killed.
We're talking about like they're all standing and you got 3,
Yeah,
you
no,
got
I
your
agree,
3
I
picks
agree.
standing in front of you to protect you, and then all the rest of the people trying to kill the 3 people to get to you. So if we're dealing with that, I think, because if we was looking at that, Palpatine would be. You could just pick Palpatine. He had the whole empire to help.
Palpatine and Boba, if they have all their resources and connections, Palpatine and Boba are pretty good because they can just put you into hiding, defend you, and
But if we're talking about like an actual battle, like they're standing in front of you to protect you, and you got the other 9 coming at you, you're dead. I don't care who you pick, you're dead. I don't think you survived that. That's just my personal opinion, though. I don't think it's really a lot to defend that at that point. I think in all reality, you're dead. Okay, that was a good one.
yeah, I'll probably do more of those. That was a fun one.
It was different. I like doing different stuff. And yes, everybody, I shaved it off. No goat. It's gone. The goat is gone.
So sad. End of an era.
It was, I don't know, it was all gray. Basically, I went to the store, right? I was at the store, and I was at the checkout, and the lady asked me how old I was. She said, she thought I was around 56. I was like, damn, man, you done added, I gotta shave this shit off. I'm only 46 years old. You thought I was fucking a whole 10 years old. I gotta get rid of this shit. Plus, I don't know, I was thinking about growing the whole beard out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see.
If you grow the whole beard, that's gonna make you look even older, though.
I'm gonna go grow the whole beard out. I'm gonna use just for me, just for me, and
Dye
darken
it, make it all black.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
I was thinking about doing that, but I gotta get it growing if I decide to do that, because then I gotta constantly put the black in there so it doesn't look like somebody doesn't see you and then the next day see you. It's always like women that wear wigs and women that have weaves and stuff. It messes with me because, like, dude, wasn't you bald yesterday? Didn't you have like no hair yesterday, and now you got this fucking long, flowing, beautiful hair? Where did this shit come from? What the fuck are you using? I need some of that shit so I can grow my hair in a day. Okay.
Just whatever you're using, you can't accidentally spill it on your balls, because then fucking it's gonna be a junk. You can't even find your dick in there.
So today we're gonna be talking about, and I went back to our videos. I know at one time or another we talked about this, but I couldn't.
I know we
find
talked
an
about it,
episode
but we haven't done like
directly
a
about
full
it.
episode.
I could
Yeah.
have swore we had an episode about this, but I wanted to break it down into a little bit deeper. Garrison came up with the idea. I thought it was a great idea, but I wanted to break it down a little bit deeper. So I looked at a few different polls. And then I looked at the Motion Picture Associate and the Common Sense Media, their breakdown of where they think kids is at. So I figured we would kind of go through it. Well, USA Today poll, they asked, I don't know how many parents, it didn't say how many parents, but most parents said 4 to 7 years old for all Star Wars content. And I thought that was, me personally,
I think that's young.
Yeah, I think it's young too. But personally, I let my kids just my kids. My youngest son's favorite movie when he was younger was Machete.
Well,
and he started watching.
Yeah, it's not that I think they're too young to like where they're like going to be scarred for life. I think it's more they're too young to really enjoy it.
Well, to get the concepts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to like understand what's really going on. Now, the Motion Picture Association and Common Sense did a thing, and they broke it down by age group. So, at 5 to 6, they said your Padawan is ready to begin with the basics, nothing too scary. So, they got like Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure, Lego Star Wars The Empire Strikes Out, Star Wars Galaxy of Sound, Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, Lego Star Wars Summer Special, Lego Star Wars The Yoda Chronicles. That's where they put it at.
I'd give them the original trilogy at that point.
Age 7, kids are ready for the first movies of the original trilogy, as well as some of the fun TV shows and apps. There's plenty of action, but it all works out okay. This is what they said. So Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. Lego Star Wars All-Stars TV show, Lego Star Wars Droid Tale TV show, Lego Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures, Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales, Star Wars Resistance, and then like the Angry Birds, Star Wars 1 and 2 app, the Star Wars The Clone Wars game, Star Wars app, Star Wars Heroes Pass app, Star Wars Jedi reading game, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith TV game. Which I've never even seen this TV games that they're talking about. I don't know what that is. Then they said 8 to 9. The original saga concludes. The prequel begins. The story expands in new ways. Actions, peril intensifies. The character becomes more complex. So they got Star Wars Clone Wars the movie, Star Wars Clone Wars the TV show. I don't know why they got Star Wars the Clone Wars TV show on here twice, but they do. Star Wars Episode 4, The Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace movie, The Force of Destiny TV shows, Rebels TV shows, Star Wars Rebels, Spark of the Rebellion movie. I don't even remember that movie. Star Wars Episode 4, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Galaxy Edge Adventures Awaits TV show, and in games like Angry Birds Star Wars game, Lego Star Wars Battle Games, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, basically all the Lego Star Wars Episode 1 Racer game, Star Wars Journey's Beginning app, Star Wars Lightsaber Battle Force game, Star Wars Clone Wars Adventures game, Star Wars Puzzle Droids app.
Goddamn, a lot of games, dude.
Star Wars Clone Wars Republic Heroes, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes app, Star Wars Rebels Recon Mission app, and then they can start reading some of the books. Age 11, get in on the action, games, and the internet can help bridge the gap between kid-friendly and older movies. And it has a bunch of games. And then, okay. Then they can start like the Ahsoka TV show, Star Wars Bad Batch TV show, which I don't know why Bad Batch isn't on a younger thing. You gotta be 10 to 11 to watch the Bad Batch. I guess.
No. I mean, I can kind of see it, but I still think the only Star Wars for me that I'm like, all right, maybe kids might be a little young to like, not because they're not old enough to understand it, but a little young to like, this might be a little scary. The only one that I really remember was like episode 3, right? Because that's when you get like the killing younglings, fucking turning to the dark side. And that one gets pretty dark. You know what I mean?
Well, and then and then if you go into like Return of the Jedi, which they had down for the 7-year-olds, I don't know if a 7-year-old, because you got both. You got the Hutt, you got the Sarlacc, you got Palpatine shocking people with electricity.
Yeah, but that's not too bad.
You got the Rancor, which would be that'd be scary for a kid. You know, at 7 years old, really 7 to 8 years old, the fucking Rancor. You got the Sarlacc pit. Like kids would be scared to go to the beach, thinking that you know what I'm saying. But like I don't know, cause I was real young when I started watching Star Wars. I mean, so I don't know.
I watched the original trilogy like when I was that young, and nothing ever like scared me.
You also got to. The Jabba the Hutt scared the shit out of me. I still don't like the Hutts. They're just. I don't even know if they're freaking scary or just creepy because they're like giant slugs. Like
Right.
Like the Sarlacc didn't scare me. The Rancor didn't scare me. Jabba the Hutt scared me. Like.
I guess some kids are bigger wussies than others.
But at the same time, it's like kids are like. You got to understand, when I was younger, we was restricted from watching a lot. Well, I can't even say that because my mom let me watch just about anything. Like I watched Aliens, and I used to watch whatever my mom was watching. Whatever my mom was watching, my mom would let me watch. Which when I did see the Aliens movie, I seen Aliens 2, and I covered up all the heater vents in the house, and we almost froze to death. So I thought the damn thing was gonna jump out and get on my face. But I think that there's. I really think that there's I don't know, kids nowadays are just desensitized from a lot of things just because everything comes on TV now, like on regular TV. Like yesterday, me and my wife going through, I'm on Prime, and we're just clicking through on Prime, looking for a movie to watch. I was looking for something to watch. And there was a movie on there, and this was like on the regular shit. This wasn't on like you have to buy it or anything. It was called Beat That Pussy. And I was like, at first I looked at it, I said, am I reading this wrong? I'm seeing this wrong. So I asked my wife, I said, what does that say? She said, it says beat the pussy. Like beat T-A pussy. I said, dude, they got pornos on Prime on like regular Prime. Not even like you have to buy the shit. It's just a regular shit. So I was like, dude, they just don't like, but you also got to understand they're like regular TV shows. Like back in the day, you'll never see like, unless you was like a movie, you would never see sex on TV. You didn't see, there was killing on TV, but you didn't ever actually see the killing. It was like how they did Andor, where he shoots the dude in the face.
Yeah, or like, because I remember like
see it. Now
the
they
A
just
Team.
show that shit full out blown. They show homosexuality. They show you know what I'm saying, transgender stuff. They, you know, pretty much the whole alphabet people, they all got stuff on TV now. And it's just on regular TV. These are all things that were censored when I was young. You didn't see none of that stuff
Right.
at all. You know what I'm saying? You never seen, you know, you barely even got to see two people kissing, like a man and a woman kissing on a regular TV show. They just didn't have that. It was always implied, but it was never shown. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if they did start to kiss, it wasn't all, you know what I'm saying, sucky face for, you know, 2 minutes. It was like the kiss started, cutscene, it went somewhere else.
Exactly.
So, but nowadays they just show everything on TV. Shit, you be on regular, you be watching Fox, and there be, look at The Simpsons, look at Family Guy. Family Guy got some of the most racist, sexist, stereotypical stuff.
Well, I don't think kids are meant to be. I don't think fucking 6-year-olds are watching Family Guy, Kyle.
Shit, man, what are you talking about? My kids been watching Family Guy their whole lives since they was babies.
Well, because one of the real reasons I want to talk about this is like, because especially with the new content coming out, there is like kind of this tension between like these younger audiences and then like adults who kind of wanted Star Wars to age with them. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of thinking like, because I remember the original trilogy, like kids can watch that. It's nothing that kids are going to like, once they get into like 7, 8, 9 territory, maybe there's some scary scenes here and there, but majority of the Star Wars stuff like is like pretty, it can get kind of dark, but it's not like graphically showing too much stuff. Where the kids,
a lot of the stuff you didn't even understand. I didn't understand until I got older that you could like mind control people with the Force. I didn't understand.
So that's what I mean. Like the kids, like from what they're understanding, it's nothing that's too scarring, and then the stuff that's a little bit more serious kind of can go over their head. The only like specifics that got like maybe too dark for kids, where you'd want to like hide it from them, was like killing younglings or like when Anakin's burnt in lava, because I know that's kind of graphic for Star Wars, but. Other than that, for the rest of it, like I feel like us growing up as kids saw that. So I'm just thinking like there's a way to make it like where kids can watch it, where it can also still be kind of serious for the adults.
Like, if you really think about it, they didn't show Anakin actually killing the younglings. He just turned on the lightsaber. Most kids ain't even gonna understand what that meant. So it's kind of hard to I don't know.
That's why
it's really hard to really like sit back and say what is acceptable and what's not acceptable, because a lot of the stuff wasn't shown. And then a lot of the underlying meanings, like you said, kids ain't gonna understand it. And if they do understand it, they're gonna understand, okay, if you're a bad guy and you turn evil, you're gonna get lit on fire, you know what I'm saying, by some lava, so don't be a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Don't turn evil. Don't do bad stuff.
So it's like, so that's why I mean, like,
the Bible teaches us. The Bible teaches us if you're bad,
fire and brimstone.
You know
well, like, so going forward, I don't know why TV shows have to be like considered dumbed down to be for kids. Like, I think there's a way to appeal to both audiences.
I think that's one of the things that is really detrimental in the overall outlook on Star Wars, because a lot of people want Star Wars to go R-rated. You know, they want it to get really dark.
Dude, I'm all for that. Like,
but at the same time, you got to remember that Star Wars.
Yeah, but I think there's a way to do it for both.
By George Lucas was originally made to appeal to everybody, to appeal to older people, to younger people, and I think Disney is trying to keep to that scenario.
Well, yes and no, because I feel like there's some instances where Disney seems to be appealing like very much to kids, where it's almost cheesy to adults.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But
so I think there's a way to do both. I get it; it's hard.
Like Andor, you know, you put anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe even older than that, and let them watch Andor. There's a lot of adult.
I think Andor's more to
things that they're not going to understand.
Yeah, I think Andor's adult.
Yeah, it's because it's way more complex. They're not going to understand the politics of what's going on in Andor, how things is changing, what's going on. They're not going to understand that.
I agree. I think
but
for kids,
some adults that don't even understand it.
Well, look at Boba Fett. I think kids would probably like Boba Fett because there's a lot more going on, a lot of action. But you and I agree the story was kind of lacking and it was cheesy.
I think, and I agree with you on that. I do think that like the Book of Boba Fett was a lot of CGI, a lot of stuff that's going to be appealing to kids. It's going to keep their attention. You know, nowadays most young people, a lot of older people don't have no attention span. So you got to keep the action constantly blowing up in their face, stuff constantly going on, and you have to. It's not like they're weighing the balance. I think that's might be one of the bigger problems is they're not weighing the balance of what is adult, what is kids. They're like coming out with a kid show, and then they're coming out with adult shows. They're not meeting in the middle maybe as much. And then when they do meet in the middle, like someone like Ahsoka's very, like, I think the parts that was supposed to be meant for adults was kind of just boring. And the parts that were supposed to be meant, the action-packed something that's going to keep everybody's attention, made the story better. But then the boring parts made it kind of like, come on, man, like, you know. And I think it was.
I think season 1 and 2 of Mando
role in that one because I think the kids understood more of the, because like I'm sitting back and I'm on, you know, some of the different stuff, and I'm looking at some of these younger people talking about the first 4 episodes and how they liked it, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I think they understood the first 4 episodes more than they liked the thing. My honest opinion, I think don't nobody really know what is going to work anymore. I think they just, it's like spaghetti, just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody really knows what works anymore because things have changed so much in just everything. But I will tell you this, if you look back, and this is for even younger movies, you know, even cartoons and everything, if it has a good story, the story usually is what will attract somebody in or out. Because even watching some of the stuff that I wouldn't typically watch, like Vampire Diaries or, you know what I'm saying, Pretty Little Liars and stuff like that I watched with my kids, my daughters and stuff like that with younger people, they had good stories. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't like just freaking like, oh, wow, I have to watch this with y'all. This just sucks. It was like, it was still good. But you gotta understand too, watching Diaries of a Vampire, whatever it's called, Vampire Diaries, dude, that shit was gruesome as hell. Like, that was some gruesome shit, man. There's people getting killed left and right and, like, all kissing and...
Yeah, but that's also an older audience, isn't it?
I know it's supposed to be... basically, it's more for, like, I would say teenager to, you know what I'm saying, mid-adult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
young
mid-20s,
adults, I'd say.
Young adults. But it was still good, and I watched it, and I got into it. I'm like, dude, man, I like this dude Damon, man. This dude Damon just killing everybody. He don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? But my daughters liked it because they're like, oh, he's so cute. It's kind of like with like the Twilight Saga. Like, kids' wife loves the Twilight Saga. Me, I like the last one and the third one because that was the only one where everybody was fighting. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a whole bunch of fighting. The actual movies is all together, watching everything. That Star Wars team leader,
my man. Thank you, sir.
You didn't get to hear the first part of the show, but I wanted to personally say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because wherever you was playing the video at last week, we got almost 5,000 views on that video. So, and I can't say it was because of me because I'm a dumbass. So it had to be because you was playing it at the thing because we ain't ever got that many views on the video. I think our biggest one was the one with
we've had a couple 4s.
Yeah, we've had a couple 4s, but we ain't ever got close to 5. It was at 4,800 when Garrison told me yesterday. I hadn't even looked at it. I was like, holy shit. But I'm pretty sure it's because you was at that event and everybody was coming by and watching it at the event, and because I'm almost positive it wasn't because of me sitting here babbling for an hour and a half. But yeah, but when we jump back, I don't know. I just think that I can't sit back and. Oh, that's what it was. See, I'm telling you, you did it. It wasn't me. But I think that I don't know. I let my kids watch everything, and I let them deter whether they liked it or they didn't like it. Like none of my kids like Star Wars, which I think they're all crazy. You know, like they'll watch it, but they're like not big fans of it. You know, not even the new shit. Like my 16-year-old son, man, I can't even like. He'd rather watch, you know, Visions because he likes anime. You know what I'm saying? So Visions is more his style. But like watching like Bad Batch and shit like that, he's like that. I don't want to watch this. This is like kid shit. And I'm like, dude, it's the shit. It's Star Wars. Then to the TV shows, he's like, I don't want to watch this. There's just not enough going on. You know, he wants to see, you know, anime vampires slashing, you know what I'm saying, crazy Japanese anime shit. That's what he wants to watch. I don't think he understands the concept of the morals and the stories that is being told, and he's 16 years old. My daughter's not big fans. Oldest son, he'll watch them, but, you know what I'm saying, he's more into, he likes, you know, what a lot of teens, or not teens, but, you know, 20-year-olds watch. He wants to watch, you know, HBO shit, Game of Thrones. You know, he wants to watch Power and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Get rich freaking by being evil person type shit. So, like, looking at overview of things, I can't really say that there's a time period that kids should start watching. It's just whether or not they understand what's going on. You know, and then everybody is different. You know, one kid might understand concepts when they're young, and other kids might not.
Yeah, you can't really do it by age because some kids mature faster than others. Some kids are ready for stuff.
Yeah, and girls mature faster than boys all the way till we're dead. So they understand the concepts and the thing. I tell my kids when they were younger, you know, I always tell them this is fake, this is not real. You know what I'm saying? So my kids was like, they watch horror movies and everything. They never got scared. They all love horror movies. They never got scared because they knew it wasn't real. But then I also told them, you know, keep in mind the concepts and what mostly every movie or TV show is trying to teach you something. If you really look at the underlying meaning,
it's trying to say something. Yeah.
So try to figure out what that is. You know, because you can learn something. No matter if it's just a sitcom on TV, there's usually a moral behind it or something behind it. Try to figure out what that is and try to use it within your life. And I've taught them that ever since they were little. You know, my biggest saying, and my kids will all tell you, cause and effect. Always look at the cause and effect of every decision you make. How can this affect your future in, you know what I'm saying, or other people's future around you in the future? Think about these things before you make an action. And that's something I've taught them their whole lives, because I can't teach you, you know, I couldn't teach my kids because I have a lot of friends that told them about all the bad shit I used to do when I was younger. So I can't sit back and say, hey, don't do this, because they're going to be like, wow, you did this. You know what I'm saying? You did that. That's way worse than that. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't teach them that. What I had to teach them was, you know what I'm saying, how can this affect your future? How can this affect your life? How can this affect other people's life? If you're out here doing bad things and you're doing stuff that you ain't supposed to be doing and you go to prison for 10 years, how is this going to make your mom feel? Or if you're out here doing bad stuff and you get shot and killed, how is this going to affect everybody else in your family?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to think about those things, because the world is not just about you. It's about other people as well. There's people that care about you and love you, so everything that you do affects other people around you. So you have to think not just about yourself and what you want, but how does these things affect everybody else? Trying to find the morals to everything. And I think the TV shows are exactly the same. You have to find, like, if you're sitting there and your kids will basically show you whether or not it's age appropriate for them. Because if they're not interested, they're going to leave. They're going to stop watching. They're going to get away. If they like it. But I think it is also a responsibility of the parents to explain things. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people try to put too much emphasis on age. Like, oh, they're not old enough to do that. if a parent sits down and explains to their children what this stuff
Well, the sad thing
means,
is, a lot of times parents are like, "Here's the iPad, put on the show, and then leave the kid." It's not so
yeah,
much the parents watching this with the kid, talking to them, like they're guiding them through it, kind of thing. I also think because kids are so grown up with technology nowadays, like I feel like you and I growing up, like technology was like a rare occurrence. It was like after we got our homework done, we played outside, we maybe got to watch TV or something for a couple minutes, but it wasn't like every second of every day was technology for us.
my
You know what I mean?
my grandson has had a cell phone since he was 4.
Yeah.
My oldest grandson.
And
My
so I
daughter
think
got him a
kids, they're
cell
so
phone when he was
used to
4 years old. So it's like with the conversation, should kids watch porn? How you gonna stop them when you hand them a phone that they can
Yeah,
just
well,
look this shit up?
kids are so like from such a young age, they have technology and they're getting constantly used to instant satisfaction, instant feedback, short attention span, TikTok, Instagram, like always getting something. And they're not used to like waiting and being patient and learning. Like, so that's why I feel like a lot of times, like, especially with Disney, like the TV shows, they're not as complex. They're more simple, fast paced, action, action, action,
Well,
not
that's
so
like,
much
and you gotta
burn and
understand too,
build.
everything's about rating. You know what I'm saying? Everything, and rating is based on watch time. It's not as much so like it used to be, where ratings was based off of a lot of reviews. They used to put them boxes in people's houses, and they see how long you watch something, when you lost interest, different things like that. And I
Right.
guess it's the same thing now. It's just all computerized, because now you get on, like, how long does a person actually watch a movie on their phone? Like a lot of stuff is being made for phones. They're not even being made for TVs or movies. It's being made for phones. YouTube, look how high YouTube, like you said, Instagram, TikTok. Short film has 7 billion views on this short film, and a movie gets 1 million views, or what I'm saying, a movie box office 380, but you go to YouTube and watch this short film, they got 8 million views on it. So when they're looking at that, it's like they're making stuff for that type of content viewing. I'm not gonna sit here and watch no whole damn movie on my phone. That's just too damn small. My eyes will be hurting like hell by the time I get done. You know what I'm saying? Trying to watch a whole movie, but a quick little short film. I mean, and look how easy it is to get stuck on TikTok. I get on TikTok or freaking Instagram, be stuck on there for hours, just looking through content. And half the time the shit is stupid. I'm like, why am I even looking at this dumb shit? But you get captivated by, especially if it's funny shit. You'll be sitting there looking. I'll be showing it to my wife. Look, babe, look at this. My wife's doing the same thing to me. My son's showing me shit, and it's like, it's totally different. So, and content wise, like the stuff you see on, like, dude, like you can go on Instagram, you can. TikTok, they show naked pictures on TikTok now. You
It's
could be
crazy.
completely nude on TikTok. I mean, not on TikTok, but on Twitter or X. I mean, they just show
Yeah.
complete nudity on there. So it's like, why do these kids, like, I think honestly, it's the dinosaurs like me that'll be going to the movies in the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Kids go to the movies to make out. They don't go, or teenagers go to the movies to make out. They don't go to the movie to actually watch the movie, which is something that I'm glad that I taught my kids enjoy those. Because I always told my kids, you know what I'm saying, movies and all this is for entertainment. It's for you to be able to use your imagination and take yourself out of the real world. Just like I've said on this show so much. Star Wars is about taking me out of my mundane, boring ass life where I get up and go to work every day and come home and, you know what I'm saying, deal with family stuff, worry about bills and all that stupid shit. It's that, I get to get away from that. For that hour or 30 minutes that TV show is on, or whatever I'm doing, I get to escape that. I get to use my imagination. I get to picture myself being there. And I try to do that in everything that I watch. And I watched the dumbest movie ever last night. That shit was like, dude, somebody actually
What'd
made
you
this
watch?
movie? I don't even know what the name of that shit was. I found it on Prime, and it said, I thought it was about zombies, and it ended up being about vampires, and it was just freaking, it was so dumb. I was like, this is like the dumbest movie ever. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to watch it and pay attention to it, but I find myself looking at my phone. I'm looking at Amazon and TikTok and Instagram and everything else. Cause I'm like, dude, but that's what happened. There was no story to the damn thing. It just started out and it didn't explain nothing. It didn't say nothing. It was like, dude, what the hell is going on? I don't even know what's going on. Like, who are these people? What is happening? When did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all didn't explain none of this. Y'all just jumped right into this dude, like, ripping vampires out of freezers and shit. It was just stupid. And I just couldn't get into it because it was like, dude, I have no backstory here. I have nothing. There's no story here, and what's going on is just dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, and it seemed like they just took a bunch of pieces from a bunch of other vampire movies and stuck it all into this movie and made a whole nother movie about it. It was just weird. But, you know, I think that's what Star Wars offers. I think that's the biggest thing that Star Wars offers. Even the bad Star Wars. Like, if I can't find nothing else to watch and Book of Boba Fett is on, I'm gonna watch it because for that minute I can think about it takes me out of my everyday life. And I think even with Disney, they have kept up with at least that. You know, but do young people really understand that? I think Disney has I think anybody making any type of movie, it's not just Disney. I think Disney is really sucking at it, but it's trying to find that middle ground. You know, what can relate to everybody? And I think that's a very hard thing to figure out. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're right. I think just with the way technology's come, and I think it's harder to be in the entertainment industry than it was. I think, just 20 years ago when people weren't on their phones, on screens 24/7, that, you could get away with a little bit more. Now that everything is about screen time, it's a little bit harder because people have shorter attention spans. And there's so many different types of people now, and content is so much more accessible, and it's definitely harder.
And there's so much more content. Like,
yeah,
dude, there's so many TV shows and so many like movies, and like a movie like Oppenheimer. Just take Oppenheimer thing. Oppenheimer did great at the box office. It did really good, and like I said, to me, it was boring, but it could have been boring because I already know a lot about the situation. I watched the documentaries and stuff like that. For somebody that doesn't know anything about that, it's going to be very intriguing, and it might not have been as boring to them. Not to say that it wasn't a good movie; it was a great movie. It just was boring. But I already know a lot about the information. I've seen documentaries. I've read up on it before because it's interesting. The acting was all done good, you know what I'm saying? All the acting, and it did great in the box office because it was something different. But I guarantee it wasn't a bunch of teenagers going to see that shit.
Definitely not. And it's not the type of movie. It's not the type of movie where you're just shutting your brain off being entertained. It's the type of movie where you're supposed to be filling these long gaps in with thinking about what's happening. Like, it's a movie that you're supposed to think during the entire thing, and it is very long and very
intense,
dry in areas, but it's like purposely made that way.
Yeah, it's purposely made that way because you're trying to. It's a learning movie. It's not Blade, where it jumps off with him killing vampires in the first thing. This is something that's drawn out. It's telling you a story of history, of something that actually happened. And unless you're like you care about that, you're not gonna wonder. I mean, it did great in box office, but if you look at the actual thing, it was people from 35 to 56 was the average person that went and seen that movie. Because that's people that want to know that type of stuff. We learned about it in school, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people watch the documentary because I tell you right now, when I was a teenager, I ain't watching no damn what is this, a documentary? I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, because I didn't care. But as I got older and things, you start being more, like you start getting more curious about the history of man, and you start getting more curious about the things that's going on, because as you learn, history repeats itself. You're like, okay, how do we keep this from happening again? You know what I'm saying? Or you want to know what's going on in the world before something like this happens again. And so you're more, it becomes more interesting to you. But when I was a kid, Oppenheimer, what the hell is it about? A bomb? I'm going outside to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm not watching this shit. You know, but that's just, like, now, there's no way in hell back in the day you could have got me to watch a freaking documentary or a movie about, you know, World War II, World War I, or any of that shit. I ain't watching this shit. Vietnam. There's a guy, Sylvester Stallone in it called Rambo. I watch it then. But I ain't about to watch no documentary. But now, you know what I'm saying, I find myself watching you know what I find myself watching most of the time? I've been stuck on. I be watching the History Channel a shit ton now that I'm older. I watch the History Channel a lot. I watched 4.5 hours last night of the History Channel.
What?
Of like just different things, like how the universe was created, you know, how the Grand Canyon was created, the history of, you know what I'm saying, different shit, the history of how the world was made, you know, different theories on that think how the world was made. So I don't know, that shit just interests the shit out of me. I'd be just sitting there like, really, the moon, the moon hit the earth and caused it to start rotating, and then it was like hot, and it was hot, and then as it cooled down from the outside. That's why we got lava on the inside and tectonic plates and all this. In school, history, worst subject ever. But now I'm just, I don't know, it just interests me.
You know that comedian Shane Gillis? You heard of him?
Yeah.
This is literally exactly what he's talking about. It's like the older you get, the more you get into history. And and then he's like, the more you get into history, the more you become a Republican. And he's like, I'm slowly becoming.
The only reason I'm becoming a Republican, because if you look over the last 3 Democratic presidents that we done had, they all sucked and didn't do shit for our country and made our country worse. And then I like the fact that Trump made me not a felon no more, and I only had to pay $1.05 for gas. I think a lot of it too, because when you're younger, you don't think about economics. You don't think about shit like that. When you get older, it's like, dude, man, why am I paying $4 for a gallon of gas? Why does it cost me $100 to fill up my gas tank to drive to a place I don't even want to be every day? You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. But I think that's one of the things that, like, the Star Wars teaches us too. If you sit back and look at the politics within Star Wars, all of Star Wars, because George put it in there too, the politics of letting empire control us as we let a government control us. And in the entire world, everybody in the world is being controlled by whatever government is in charge. You might think we're free, but we're not free. I mean, they tell us everything that we can and cannot do. You know, so... And Star Wars teaches us that, but that's something that older people are going to understand. Younger people ain't going to understand the politics of what they're teaching and the underlying morality, the underlying morals of Star Wars. They're not going to understand it. I mean, that's one of the things that I like the most about Andor. It showed the politics behind the Empire and what was going on and the controlling situations within the Empire. That's one of the things that I liked about it. But a kid ain't going to like that. A kid's going to be like, what the hell is this? Like, most of the younger people that I talked to, like my 16-year-old son, some of his friends, I got them to sit there and watch Andor. They were like, what the hell is even going on? What's the purpose of this show? Because they didn't understand none of the underlying meaning, because they're not concerned with that stuff. They're not paying no bills. They ain't worried about paying taxes. You know, they're not worried about none of that stuff. And they don't understand what's the point of having a rebellion. It looks like everything's great on Coruscant. Just move to Coruscant.
Yeah.
You can't just move to the city and everything's going to be okay. Bryn is higher in the city. But I think that that's one of the biggest conflicts and that's something that's hard to tell. How can you put that in and still make it entertaining without pissing everybody off? Because somebody's going to be mad. And I think that as a writer...
I mean, we just talked about this in our 2 episodes ago. We'll talk about it later today. People get triggered and go off on the smallest little things.
Yeah. And if you really look at the beginning of Ahsoka, there's a lot more politics. There's a lot more trying to figure out what's going on, who is who, why is this important, why are they looking for this guy Thrawn that if you've never watched Star Wars, you have no idea who he is, or Ezra, or any of these people. Like, why is that going to be intriguing? And I've said it perfectly. I mean, I loved the Ahsoka series, but at the same time, the first 4 episodes were not the best. They were very drawn out, and they were like, if you're a new fan, you're not going to understand what the hell is going on. And even as a fan of somebody that's been watching Star Wars my whole life, and Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters of all time, I was lost. Like, what the hell is going on? What is this about? Like, why? There was a lot more politics. You had, different people showing up. You had, Hera can't do this. You can't just take the freaking Republic warships out to the city, or you can't just fly off and do whatever you want. You're a general.
Right.
Kids ain't gonna understand it, or somebody that's never seen the episode that knows kind of how Hera is. They're not gonna understand that stuff. And then you got to the action-packed stuff that was all fun and CGI and a lot of lightsaber battles and fighting and all this stuff, and it was fun. But then it started lacking the overall story, of what was going on. So it's very hard to mend everything together. It's a very hard concept, and that's why I try not to bash Disney. Disney sucks, though. I try not to bash Disney too hard, because I don't care what franchise you're in. Like, the more and more, like, look at Marvel. Marvel is not even doing that great. I mean, and how the hell can you mess up superheroes? What I'm saying? Like, it's almost impossible to mess up superheroes, and it's hard to write stuff for everybody. And then, like you said, any little thing could trigger, Superman ain't got X-ray vision. I don't remember that. And then next thing you know, there's a big-ass argument on thing. Everybody in the world that knows Superman knows he got X-ray vision. But younger people's like, I ain't never seen him do that shit before. And then it's a big-ass conflict. You know what I'm saying? And people arguing. I think people just like to argue nowadays. They just like to find shit to argue about. So they look for anything. And anybody will exploit anything that anybody else says. That's something I'm finding out, like, to a fact. You say something, even in a jokingly matter or any of that stuff, man, they're going to exploit the shit out of it. They're going to say you said something. They're going to take it out of context. And it's going to be bad, no matter who you are. It's happened to me. It's happened to me on the other podcast where people just bash me for saying something. And I was like, that's not even what I said. I didn't even say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, whatever. I guess you just have to get... And I guess that's why a lot of actors and a lot of people just are... that you have to be thick-skinned, because no matter what you do, you're going to get backlash. And you just got to be to a point where you're just either rich enough where you cannot give a shit because it ain't going to kill you anyway, or you just got to take it and just keep pushing. You just got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving forward and whatever it is. And I don't tell nobody to change their opinion. I try to give my point of view, you know what I'm saying? But everybody got their own opinion. But the only thing I'm trying to get everybody to understand is don't allow other people to change your opinion to something that might not be the truth. Find out all the evidence. Like, look at all the stuff and really judge it for yourself. And if you're like, this is bullshit, it's bullshit. And do not let it, you know what I'm saying, take down Star Wars. Because this is the thing. We need the younger audience to keep Star Wars going. We do. Because we're all getting older. You got Star Wars fans that are dying. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to figure some people was in their 30s and 40s when Star Wars comes out. Now they're in their 80s. You know what I'm saying? They're in their 70s and 80s. They're passing away. So we need the younger viewership to keep Star Wars going, because if Disney ain't making no money off of Star Wars, ain't no point in them keep making Star Wars. That's the reality of it. It all comes back
these
to
younger
money.
generations just suck.
Somebody that's 22 saying that.
Hey, I'm 25.
25. But I mean, it's the reality of the situation. We need younger fans, so we have to be acceptance of some of that Star Wars stuff that we just don't like, because that appeals to the younger audience. And But that's, where we can come on and we can discuss the reason we don't like it, and maybe some of the younger people can sit back and they can look at it and they can really view it, try to view it through I always listen to other people's opinions because they might change my mind. I might watch something and love it and then go back, hear somebody else's opinion and why they didn't like it, and go back and realize, oh, okay, yeah, they're right. This isn't that good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not going to sit back and just, somebody, it sucks because I said so. And then I go back and watch it. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is great. You know what I'm saying? I like this. You know what I'm saying? I try to be objective, but at the same time, like I've said plenty of times, one of our jobs is to be critics, to really look at things and go more in depth than maybe somebody else will say and give it our honest opinion. I got to give it my honest opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Book of Boba Fett. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. It's better than watching some of the crap that's on TV.
And there's some great parts to it. But overall, objectively,
it wasn't the best. It wasn't even close to the best. And I got some information on that coming up here pretty soon, too.
Really? Should we get to news then? Because I'm getting
intrigued. Should get to news. I think we just dissected this enough. I think you should my personal opinion is, if you're going to let your kids watch Star Wars, sit down with them. Watch it with them. If they have questions, explain it to them. Show them the morals of it, what it's trying to teach them. And at the same time, teach them about this is all fake. This isn't real.
Make it a family experience.
Yeah. Do something together and make your kids enjoy the experience. Because I guarantee they're going to have questions. My kids had questions. Everybody's kids that I know that watch Star Wars, they have questions. And that's even with the Young Jedi Adventures. My 6-year-old grandson calls me and says, what does this mean? And I had to explain it to him because he didn't understand. Yeah. And that's fine. Which he's watched all the Star Wars movies, so I didn't understand why he didn't understand it. He's been watching Star Wars and shit. The whole other podcast is based on, he's the one that created it. It was basically his idea. So, I just seen how excited he was about listening to a Star Wars book. So I was like, I got to do something with this. So basically, it was his idea. All right, let's get to some news and rumors.
This is Alton Castle for the only news you need, the HoloNet News.
All right. So I think we have a lot of the same stuff. I think it's mostly just going to be talking about some of these news articles, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I think one of the first things, I think there was a rumor going around about the Daisy Ridley movie being delayed indefinitely. I haven't found that to be true. After doing some double checking, I think that's some BS.
Yeah, I haven't found anything. I didn't find anything on it.
Yeah, so I think that movie is still happening.
Yeah, the only thing, and I think the reason a lot of people were saying that because of, like we said, the whole little
there was so much controversy
about it that everybody was like, "That's not gonna ever happen," and like, what? What are you talking about? Like, I haven't seen, and I double checked and triple checked. I went on Star Wars' website. I went on all the websites that I know about with news and rumors and everything, and I couldn't find anything that was, like a confirmation that it was being delayed. It was even being delayed, let alone delayed indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically that it wasn't coming out. I haven't found anything. And Daisy really was just talking about that they're about to start, that they were waiting on a final script to start, and then they were going to start production. So they were just waiting for the final script review to come their way. So the script is done. It's already went through one review, probably 2 reviews, and it's on its final now. So they're just waiting on that to get that back, which we knew. We all knew that some of this stuff was going to be delayed because of the writer's strike. I mean, we all knew that this is not like new information by any means. I feel
like something getting delayed is just par for the course with Disney right now.
Well,
Just
I mean,
because I feel like they try to announce stuff so early to try to generate hype for it that like it's always getting delayed. They announce
and-
they bought up more than they could chew. They get ahead of themselves. Yeah,
well, and then nobody expected there to be a writer's strike. You know,
Yeah.
nobody expected AI to come out and start doing the stuff the AI did, and the writers be like, "Fuck this! You ain't
Yeah.
gonna just steal my ideas and let AI write a damn movie for you, and then screw me around." And,
At this point, I'm just going to be more surprised if something comes out on time or a video game that they announce actually does come out at all. That's more surprising than stuff being canceled nowadays.
My only thing is they keep rotating which movies are coming in order. They keep
Right.
Like, I went on like 8 different websites and they all said something different on the order of the movies that are coming out. Like, okay, which one's coming out first? Like, that's all I care about. I want to know the next one is coming out. I don't care about the other ones. Which is the next one so I can get hyped about that movie? Because I want to go see that movie. I want to go see a Star Wars movie in the theater. That's the movie I want to know about. When is it coming out? How long do I have to wait? And what should we be talking about? Because we don't know if it's going to be the Rey movie coming out next, or the Mandalorian movie coming out next, or the new Jedi Order coming out next. Because every website, including Disney, including the Star Wars website, because it's changed 3 times, we don't know what's coming out next.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks that they announce it so flippin' early. What happened to the good old days when you didn't hear about something until the previews came out, and so you only had to wait like 6 months.
It wouldn't even be 6 months. A lot of times it'd be like 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah.
Now they're doing it 5 years before it's about to come out.
It's ridiculous, man. Oh, gosh.
Like, dude, what are you talking about? It's coming out in 2031. Dude, it's 2024. Man, why are you even telling me about this? The likeliness of this movie ever happening is slim to none at this point, if it's 10 years down the road. Yeah,
Right.
So the Disney Ridley movie, that was one of the ones I had. The Disney Ridley movie that's bullshit. That's just I couldn't find any credible
Sources actually saying that
sources.
it's being delayed. Yeah.
And I looked for about an hour. I was like, dude, I can't find anything.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of nonsense rumors. I have one that you might like.
I might like. All right.
Yeah. So Star Wars new hoodies and hats that are being brought out by RSVLTS, whatever that is. Here, I'm gonna put this up on screen.
All right.
Okay. Okay, it's right there. Share. Now we gotta move everything around again. Okay. Can I get this on a bigger screen? Let me see if I can get it on a bigger screen, cause.
That looks good.
All right. Let me move it around here. Okay, so new Star Wars hoodies and hats from RSVLTS, which I don't know what that is. I'm just stupid.
It's a brand.
Are strong in the Force. So this one right here, this is an Ahsoka one, which I don't know. It's kind of
interesting.
yeah. It's
It
colorful.
looks. I think that would be better on a Hawaiian shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
That's what it looks like to me.
If I was even a Star Wars fan, if I seen somebody walking down the street with that, I would
have
know
no
that that's
idea.
an Ahsoka shirt. I would have no
no
idea.
clue.
I would think. But this is the one. This is the Boba Fett one.
I don't. What's Boba Fett about that? Oh, I see. Okay, there's Boba Fett on it.
I think it fits the Book of Boba Fett series.
Just all over. Just
It looked like it got some cookies on there, and you know what I'm saying, some strawberries or something. I don't know what it is. I like this one. This one's kind of cool. At the Battle of Yavin.
Battle of Yavin's cool. Yeah.
I'd wear that one. And then I definitely wear that Star Wars hat. I think. That
Oh,
Star
dude,
Wars
I feel
hat
like
is
you
dope.
have that Star Wars hat. I feel like I've seen that on you.
No, I don't have that one. Well,
I know,
Star
I
Wars,
know.
I had one Star Wars hat, but my dog ate it.
That's
I
kind of
like
cool.
I like the Mandalorian one with all the different Mandalorian helmets on it. I think that one's cool. I would wear that hat. That hat,
That one's chill. Yeah.
yeah, got the little Tatooine stuff with the rebel symbol. Definitely wear this one.
What is that? The Death Star?
Yeah, it's like the Death Star plans or something.
Like the
Different.
out. It looks like the outside of like the Death Star, the Imperial Star Destroyers, whatever.
Yeah, that one's kind of cool. This hat right here, I don't know if I'd wear that. You can't even really tell that's
Yeah.
R2 or whoever it is.
It's just a basic hat with R2 on it. I feel like you can make that.
I would wear this one. This one's more. This one I think better represents R2 than that first one or whatever that first one was.
Yeah.
And it's just got. It's still kind of very. It's kind of bland, but I'd wear it.
This one's similar to the last, like
Yeah.
kind of rebel one.
And that was some of the thing. But my biggest one was the Boba Fett one.
Boba
I
Fett
think
one. Yeah.
It looks like cookies.
It's weird. Yeah.
It looks like some bacon shit.
It looks like the one that was based off of like the holiday special. You know what I mean? Like the original Boba Fett.
Yeah, but it's very non-Boba Fett. You would not, if you seen this
Yeah.
and you said this is a Boba Fett sweatshirt, I'd be like, man, you should burn that.
Yeah, and like literally the only way you can tell it's Boba Fett is because of that zoomed in picture.
Yeah, Boba Fett. If you seen this from a
Yeah.
distance, you would think this dude was,
Fruity.
yeah. All right. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. And let's see. According to Deanna Luna, in a Twitter post, it's a clip of him on Vanity Fair doing an interview with Vanity. He said there's 7 days left of shooting season 2, and he flies back to London tomorrow. This was the actual when was the actual
Hell yeah. I can't wait, dude.
let's see.
I can't wait. I'm super excited.
This was actually took on January 15th, so he should already be in London, and they should already be shooting the last 7 days. Should already be done, because he said tomorrow that would have been the 16th. Today's the 21st, so that's 5 days. So even if it was a day, then that should be. So they should only have about 3 or 4 days, maybe 2 days left of shooting. And Andor season 2 will be finished, which is definitely a good thing.
I can't wait. I'm excited for that.
And then, we talked about the Daisy Ridley. Oh shit. And then I actually close out the thing. I gotta bring it back up. This is a bit of controversy that's going on within the Star Wars.
Oh boy.
And I want to say that once again, this is things being taken out of content.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I think Kyle had a little bit more of a point than I gave him credit for.
So, I guess on Star Wars Theory, he had, let's see, who was his guest again? I can't remember who we had on there or whatever it was, but on Star Wars Theory, he had a guest on there, and they were talking about just general Star Wars stuff, and one of them said, "We don't need any more women in Star Wars," and he agreed and said the other person agreed and said, "No, we don't." And women don't even watch Star Wars. They don't even care about it. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it.
Okay. First off, right? They were joking, right?
Yeah, they were joking. They were joking. They were talking about I listened to it. I didn't watch it. I should have watched it, but I was kind of listening to it. And the way I took it is they were just joking around. Basically, they were just talking about women being in Star Wars and how Disney's being woke. And we've all agreed with that. Disney is being very woke. and they were, saying, and basically the comment came out, and everybody's taking it out of context. They were joking around from what I heard, but they were talking about, just how Disney's being woke, and they are. We've all agreed. Well, I'm not saying we all agree, but Disney has been very woke, and I mean it's for a certain extent with the backlash that Disney's got from some of the Star Wars fans, Kelly Marie Tran, and what's her face? What's her name? The chick from Solo. They said that it's very sexism and all this stuff going on, and then you had John Boyega say it was very
racist.
They were attacked, and then you got what's her face from Kenobi saying she was attacked for being a woman and being black, and Disney has to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's the tricky thing about it, is that Disney gets backlash from these things, and then actors don't want to work for Disney, and that damages their pocketbooks, because they're in it to make money. You know what I'm saying? They didn't spend $4.3 billion to buy Star Wars to not make no money off of it. Daisy Ridley even said that she got backlash. You know what I'm saying? She got a lot of sexism remarks and stuff like that, which sucks. It sucks that the world is still like that, and that there's people out there in the world that's still like that. But we've said it many times on this show, don't take things out of context, and I don't care who's in it. You could be a transgender, waffle, for all I care. As long as the story is good and you play a good part, I don't care. Like, I just want to see good Star Wars. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter to me. Don't try to recast, Balin as a woman, because that's going to suck. So, because he needs to be a man, but I'm not saying that they can't.
It just seems like a lot of times, like they emphasize like politics over story, and that's what's making people upset. It's not the fact that people are racist or people are sexist. People just want a good story.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm not sitting back saying that there isn't racism and sexism, because a lot of
I'm sure there is.
Moses Ingram got, and she put that shit out on like freaking on online. You know what I'm saying? She stuck that stuff out. People were saying some hateful, racist, sexist shit. Like, dude, what the hell? Them ain't Star Wars fans. Them are trolls.
Right.
Them are people that's just being hateful because that's just who they are.
Agreed. And there's people like that in the world.
It just sucks that, it just sucks. So some of the Twitter remarks that was made on the Star Wars theory, pushing the narrative that women aren't fans of Star Wars on his platform by having a psychologist on there saying it's for boys. Wow. So shocked. Who knew he was a piece of shit? Oh, me. I did, and most every other sane fan of Star Wars that I know. That was said by Rachel Leishman. And Sawyer Elsman Man Stan said, women have always loved Star Wars, and women have always been a part of Star Wars. You know that. I know that, and those who seek to make a quick buck off of shaming us for being part of the fandom knows that too. They want us to be angry. They are bullies, and we are known, and we know better. Then Ben Hart, the Doctor Who guy, says, so congratulations to Star Wars Theory and his friend for helping to galvanize the Star Wars female fandom. Women have always made Star Wars, women have always loved Star Wars, and women will always be a crucial, massive part of our community. Which is true. I mean, come on. Do people forget Princess Leia? I mean, she was like one of the main characters in Star Wars. Like, she was like one of the most influential people in Star Wars, in the original trilogy. You know, I don't get it. And then you got Padme. Come on. Do y'all not recognize the importance of these characters? Then he said, the more you try to push the false narrative that women are nothing more than opportunists, the more they will absolutely dunk on you and continue to show everyone how much of a clown you are. When reaching for the comments by Rolling Stone, Khan said, some people have looking for an excuse to be offended because they can feel like a victim and feel like a victim gives them some purpose and meaning in life. When you zoom out of your own entitled lens, you will see that that not everything needs to be represented in order to be enjoyable. Nia did not respond to Rolling Stone request for comments, but it's a follow-up video acknowledging the backlash. Nia denied that he was a misogynist and instead said he was simply protective of his favorite series. It has nothing to do with being misogynist or saying women can't enjoy Star Wars. He said in a response video, leave it up to the extreme left to always take something that is so plainly put to explain so easily and twist it and contort it into their own agenda and narrative. So basically, it was just, I mean, yeah, they said it. I don't know, the way, when I heard it, because I was just listening to it, I was in the other room just listening to it, it sounded like they were joking around. That's how I took it. I didn't watch the actual thing, so I can't like say whether or not they were or weren't. But once again, it's just like you can't say anything. When it like we have the freedom of speech, but you got to restrict the things that you say because of backlash, or because people changing the context or whatever. Like it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't. That's not freedom of speech.
Well, like I think majority of Star Wars fans probably are guys, but that doesn't mean that Star Wars is only for men.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, and I don't know why anybody would think that. Some of the best characters she's the main star of a whole trilogy. The whole sequel trilogy is about Rey. You know, I mean, I just don't get it. Then we have Ahsoka, main character. You know, we have Reva was the main character of Kenobi. You know what I'm saying? We have so many, like, it's not a man or a woman thing. It's mutual people coming in to make a great story. Has nothing to do with race, skin color, you know, freaking your ethnicity, your gender, you know, what you classify yourself as. You know, none of that stuff matters. Like, is the story good? If the story good, nobody was sitting back talking about Princess Leia in the 70s and 80s when this shit was like really out there. Like, it was really like people just said that shit. Women shouldn't be in Star Wars. Fuck that bitch. People said that shit. And like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I guess probably because we didn't have the internet like we do now and everything gets blown out of proportion. And I'm not sticking up for theory by no means. I'm just saying in general. You know, if he said it in a demeaning thing, you know, that's his opinion. Let him have his opinion. It's okay to have an opinion. That doesn't mean that every Star Wars man or man that likes Star Wars believes the same thing. Because I want to see more women in Star Wars. I do. I like seeing women in Star Wars. I don't want to look at no dude all the time. I want to see some beautiful women in Star Wars. That's just me. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a problem watching Rey. You know what I'm saying? Where Daisy really is attractive. You know, I want to watch Daisy really. You know, I mean, there's been some very attractive females in, you know, Mandalorian that I like watching. You know, I don't mind that. And as long as it fills the story and it makes the story more interesting, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's Deanna Luga, why can't I say this? Diego Luna, or if it's, you know, Katie Surkoff, I don't care. Like whoever playing the part, if that's the part that they was hired to play and they do a good job, that's all I care about. And if the
Right.
story is good. But I'm just
And I
saying
think
that
right.
everybody should like really stop running with this stuff and making it bigger than it is. Everybody don't understand when you
And it goes both
engage,
ways, obviously.
when you engage with these type of narratives, all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire. Just don't engage. Somebody says something, ignore them. And it's going to be better for Star Wars. Just let Star Wars play out in the way that Disney decides to let it play out, and it'll be way better. When we engage and Disney
Well,
goes in,
I don't think just letting Disney do whatever they want
but what I'm
will make
saying
it
is that when
better.
we engage with these things, that narrates the direction that Disney will take. If we
Yeah,
got a
because we
bunch of
know.
men,
Well, I think the more hype we put over it, the more Disney's gonna slam hard, like, and buckle down on their politics. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and we don't want that. We just let Disney do what Disney does. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we ain't
Yeah.
adding fuel to the fire and we ain't engaging in this thing as fans, if it's something negative, don't engage in it. Unless it's somebody just coming out saying Star Wars suck, and
I
then I
think.
think we all should
Yeah.
just attack them. But if it's somebody saying, something like this, if by engaging in it, we're adding fuel to the fire. And I think we talked about this in the last 3 episodes about taking things out of context, and even if it's not out of context, just engaging with it and adding fuel to the fire, we're making it worse. And I think as fans, we all need to start, not doing that. Because if we know Disney has a woke agenda and everybody's saying, and something like this happens, all they're going to do is make sure that women are the stars. Because now they believe that all Star Wars men are chauvinists. And that's not the truth. It's not the truth by any means. I love the women in Star Wars. I think the women in Star Wars are great. And I think that we need to have more attractive women in Star Wars.
I think we need to have more women and more men in Star Wars. We can have both. It's for both. Everyone.
I mean,
yeah.
Rey played her part. Finn played his part. Kelly Marie Tran played her part, and they did it excellently. Now, the story wasn't that great, but them as actors playing their parts, they all did a great job. So it doesn't matter. If the story sucks, it's going to suck regardless who's the actor in it. If the story's good, no matter who is the actor, as long as they come in and do a good job as actor. Now, if you want to attack somebody because they sucked as an actor and we all seen it, like, dude, this is garbage. This dude can't act, or this woman can't act, or this he, they, them, there can't act. That's different than attacking them for, what gender they are, or what race they are, or what ethnicity they are, or what gender they say they are. That's different. When you're attacking somebody for the gender or what they classify themselves as, that's totally different than attacking somebody that just being a bad actor or a bad story. If the story's bad, say the story is bad. Don't blame it on the actor. It's not his fault they wrote a bad story, or her fault, or their fault, or whatever. You have to look at it. It's not the actor's fault the story was bad. If they do bad acting, if they just suck as an actor, then you attack them on their acting, not even them as their gender, race, whatever it is. You don't attack them for that. You attack, because that doesn't matter. You attack them like, dude, you can't act. That shit sucked. That was terrible. A 4-year-old could have acted better than that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you come at them. And if you say Star Wars suck, we're all coming after you. But we have to be more unified in order, and people need to understand, you're not going to get Disney to change their mind by saying stuff like this.
No,
If that's
Disney
what
will
you're
just
trying
go. If you're trying to tell Disney to stop being woke, they're just going to be more woke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just can't engage in that. There's no, as fans, we just need to stop engaging.
I think this year was proof of that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back and watch it, or you know what I'm saying, because I want to know what it is. So Star Wars team leader said, for guest actors to come on the show, you may want to contact John Morton, who played Dak, and Boba Fett was on a show last night. he's very open about doing stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's just I just think it's one of those things that it needs to leave the Star Wars world. It really does. Like it just does not need to be within our franchise. We need to get over all this wokeness and all this different stuff and what people say. People are gonna say stuff. You know what I'm saying? We lost a very good person all because they made a stupid comment on Twitter. Well, they made multiple stupid comments on Twitter, but I still don't think they should have kicked her off the show. I mean, she was a great actor. I mean, she was doing
She was a great character.
She was a great character, and we lost that character because they said something. It was very stupid what they said, but, you know, everybody has their opinions. You know, I don't think anything should be, you know, generalized that. But, I mean, you look, she got kicked off a show, and there's way more hateful shit being said now ever since Israel and
way
Palestine,
worse.
the way worse stuff than what she said.
And that's what blows my mind. Like, she got kicked off for being anti-Semitic, but meanwhile, so many people are anti-Semitic with this Israel-Palestine thing.
Like, so many
It's
people.
insane.
I don't even know which side to be on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, both of y'all are wrong. Y'all came, you know, Palestine came in, or the Hamas came in and killed 1,000 people and kidnapped a bunch of people, so you go kill their whole country? Like, dude, y'all both wrong. Like, everybody is wrong in this. Like, there's no right side to be on.
Nah. I mean, that's a whole separate issue.
Now, I understand, you know, somebody comes in and, you know, does something to my family. I'm trying to kill your whole family, but, you know what I'm saying? That's just the American way. But, you know, look, I mean, we blown up entire countries for less than, you know, but that's
for
not
oil.
a problem. For some oil and some heroin, you know? So, I mean, I don't know which side of the fence to be on anymore. You know what I'm saying? On any of this politics stuff. That's why I want to watch Star Wars, so I don't have to worry about it. I can just put on some Star Wars and go into the world of Star Wars and not have to worry about what's going on in the world. And that's what Star Wars is there for, to take us out of this fucked up world that we're living in. I mean, for them 2 hours or however long you're watching, if you watch all, you know, 1 billion hours of Star Wars content that we have now, for that time period, you're not in the world. You're not dealing with any of that crap that's going on in the world. That's why I kind of wish I was a kid where I didn't have to worry about none of that shit no more. I didn't worry about wars and all that crap when I was young. But now you got to worry about that because I got, you know, a 24-year-old son, a 23-year-old daughter, and a 20-year-old daughter that could all be drafted because they are drafting women now. So, you know what I'm saying? All this war crap and everything that's going on in the world, I got to worry about that stuff. And if I can put on Star Wars for 2 hours and let that shit just go and watch Star Wars and be engulfed in the Star Wars fantasy, that's what I want. And this stuff right here makes it where that becomes less possible because Disney's, dude, no company wants to deal with the backlash from all this stuff that's going on and being said. And people getting upset about what some one dumbass person said. You know, there's too many positive things to talk about that we don't have to talk about the negative thing. We do not have to engage in the negativity.
Yep.
So that's where we'll leave the news. I do have a rumor. I'm not going to say it's a rumor because I heard it directly from my guy. So from my source at Lucasfilms, he told me last night, I talked to him last night. I called him up, said, oh, give me some juicy details. He said he overheard 2 producers talking about Book of Boba Fett Season 2. They were talking about it. Now, this is a meeting that's going to come to fruition. They were just talking about it. He said he was behind them as they was walking down the hall, and they were talking about it. But plus, they were talking about a Rex movie.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know,
Book of Boba Fett
honestly,
Season 2.
Book of Boba Fett Season
No.
2, I don't think that's happened. I think that was just, you know, talking. The movie about Rex, I think could happen. But at the same time, I don't know if I want it to happen.
I don't think if it is a movie, I think it's more like a Disney release rather than a theater.
I don't know.
Like just on Disney Plus, because I can see some cool stuff, so like some flashbacks of the Clone Wars.
Well, I could even see like I would like to know like the time period that he's in between, the end of the Clone Wars to where they find him on that planet hunting for them giant worm thingies. But at the same time, ain't we kind of already getting that story in the Book of Boba Fett? I mean, not in the Book of Boba Fett, but in the Bad Batch. He's been in several episodes. They're kind of showing what he's doing now. He's kind of trying to save the clones and get them away from the Empire because the Empire is screwing them over. I mean,
That's
there's still
weird.
a lot that could be told, but I just don't see them spending the money to make a movie about Rex.
I agree. I think
Rex
that's
is
weird.
a very big person within Star Wars, but I think a lot of the stuff it's already been told, and I think it would be a waste of money to tell the rest. They could just tell it in the Bad Batch because they already been doing it. They've already been showing what he's doing, so we know what he's doing. At some point, he stops doing it because it's just like pointless because everybody's getting killed anyway, and he can't save everybody, so he just stops. Him, Wolf, and what's his face go to that planet and start hunting worms and hide out and get away from it. So I just don't see that there's a whole lot of story there to tell. Be nice.
Right.
I mean, it'd be nice if they just wanted to come out with something, but I do agree with you. I don't think it would be no major production. I think if they do it, it'd be some low production. They just shove it on Disney Plus. They don't put a lot of money behind it. But it's kind of cool that they're even talking about it because that means that they're still focusing on, Boba Fett being in something and Rex, being in something else. So they're still being talked about within Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
That's what I took out of it. I don't think that they'll make neither one of them, but them talking about it means that the end of Boba Fett is not there. They can still redeem him, and we can still have more of Rex. So that's what I took from the conversation. But that's what he told me. They were talking about season 2 of Book of Boba Fett, and then they also brought up the Rex movie. And he said he was just walking behind him in the hallway. So that's only that was like the little bit of leak rumor, I guess. I don't know how you would classify that as a rumor or a leak or just some inside information. That's what we'll call it. Some inside
Stuff to think about.
Something to think about. A little food for knowledge. Okay, I do have a quiz, but it's you and Star Wars team leader, and Star Wars team leader hasn't been in the chat for about 30 minutes, or about 20 minutes, so I don't know if he's still here. Star Wars team leader, you still here? Imperial Renegade. You still on the show with us? Because we only got one viewer, so I don't know if it's a good place to put the quiz.
We can do it on Saturday when we got more people.
Yeah. This was kind of a offbeat. We didn't really even announce that we wasn't doing a show on Saturday. I don't think I
Right.
said anything about it last. I think I did say I had to work on Saturday, but I didn't say nothing about you not doing the show.
All
So,
good.
I don't
It'll still
think
come out on YouTube.
Star
It'll
Wars
still be
team
there.
leader said he's here. You want to do the quiz? You and Garrison give it a blowout.
I'm host. I can't do shit.
I got some good questions this time.
Good, like hard, like oh, that's a good question. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no way.
I doubt either one of you will know the answer to this. If not, we can always wait till next week. We've been on here for an hour and 43 minutes, so we could always wait till next week.
Next
So we
week
got-
when I can use Google.
Cheater. You're going to have to use Google.
You give me the questions today, I'll give you the answers next week. How's that?
Nope. I've had these same questions for what? Because I didn't do the one last week and we didn't do the one before that. Star Wars team leader said we can wait. Yeah, we'll just wait. We'll wait till next week till we got everybody here where everybody can join in. Everybody can join. That's more fun. It's hard when it's, and then plus I don't know how far off the chat is. That's what we should do next week. We're gonna ask everybody how far off the chat is, and then when people respond now to this comment. I love Star Wars. What do you say? And then have everybody respond to it, and then we can see how far off the the live
chat
is
is?
from the chat. That way we can get a better of how soon you can answer the question. That's the only reason you want to wait, because then you have time to respond. You can go on Google and look at it. You cheat. Oh, we got to wait 2 minutes? Oh, yeah, I got plenty of time to go on Google and check it out.
You know it.
All right, guys. All right, Star Wars team leader and whoever else is in the chat or whoever else is watching.
And those who will be watching on YouTube, Kyle.
Yeah.
Don't sell
Thanks,
yourself
everybody.
short.
Thank you, Star Wars team leader, for, playing my dumb ass on the thing
Publicity.
last week, because shit, we got a lot of views. That was excellent. Thanks everybody for tuning in week after week and listening to us babble on about Star Wars. We really appreciate all y'all. We love y'all. And we will see you guys on Saturday. May the force be with you. Stay outrageous.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.